It's been 20 long years that I've been waiting. The Oblivion remake has finally come out, and my God, when I tell you that this is definitely something worth following. This is actually quite a busy week. Like, Bethesda dropped Oblivion remake remaster. I keep saying remakes. I'm gonna get to that topic a little bit later. But overall, like, we've been waiting for an Oblivion remaster for a long time. And the hype even got a little bit more real when there was leaks and rumors a couple years ago stating that there is something that is in the works. Now, the hype is absolutely real. Like, Oblivion, I think, to a lot of people in the community, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Oblivion is one of the like to the community is one of the best Elder Scrolls games out there. I know for me personally, like I spoke about in my overall like live reaction to the announcement, I played Morrowind, I played Oblivion, I played Skyrim, and I actually genuinely enjoy Oblivion. I enjoy Oblivion a lot more than Skyrim in itself. And just with the simple thought that there's going to be some form of a new, basically a new version, new game of Oblivion overall is coming out, and it's became something that was super highly anticipated, almost, as some people are saying, the worst kept secret in the gaming industry. So as time and time moved forward, we were just getting new and new information, new and new images, new and leaks, new pieces, and just the fact that even like the recent leak said that the game was going to release quite soon, and then you mean to tell me that Bethesda really played into that, as we received a little tweet through Bethesda showcasing just a symbol 4 and a date saying April 22nd, 2025. And that right there, and of course, the font looked something more akin to Oblivion. It could have been passed as Diablo 4, but nah, we refuse. And just for us to get this live stream showcasing the before and after, listening to Bethesda overall tell us that this is a overall like love letter to their game, and really giving players, a new generation of players who never really got to play Oblivion overall. And keep in mind, you got to think Oblivion released during like the very beginning life cycle of the PS3 and Xbox 360 era, and a lot of people didn't really get to enjoy that. A lot of people's main stay of Elder Scrolls games, like their first game, is Skyrim. So these new generation of players have never got a chance to play Oblivion. And in my opinion, you're going to be playing one of the best Elder Scrolls games. And the core premise of this game is it's a lot more than just a remaster. It's not just a simple visual upgrade. The visuals look great. It's a complete gameplay overhaul as well. Like, the gameplay itself has been changed. There's new added hit effects and stuff, and the fact that the entire engine, they're utilizing the original OG engine that made Oblivion first, and they said that was the brain, while we used the looks and greatness of UE5 to be able to get everything together. And they also had help from a Paris team called Virtuoso's Games, and that's how we got most of this leak. Somebody on Reddit actually pulled all the information off of Virtuoso's website, and like I said, it was a worst kept secret. So in today's video, what I want to do is actually just talk about the Oblivion remaster, focusing specifically on like the incredible like gameplay changes and the stunning visual transformation overall, and how I feel like this could be a next step forward leading into Elder Scrolls 6. At this point, it feels like it's just a test in the water to see exactly how players are talking about this by the time they get to Elder Scrolls 6. So one thing I do want to like actually talk about is the gameplay, right? So when you first start out, the character creator was absolutely looks crazy, right? The entire UI change. I feel like there's a lot more stuff that is actually added into the character creator, and it just looks clean. Granted, I haven't played this game in years. So knowing that the simple fact that like this just feels like a modern day open world RPG, it really shows that there's truly depth to stuff like this. And if it's done right it's like gold essentially. And there's like different depths, there's the variety of the customization options, and it's just a huge overhaul right from the moment you boot the game up. Granted, I will say the compiling of the shaders and the massive file size, I think the file size of it's like 120 gigs overall, like there's something that like they really put a lot of work in, and it's an overall contrast from the original 2006 Oblivion to now we're 20 years after the fact into the now remake. And I'm going to keep calling it a remake because this game does not feel like a remaster. It feels like a complete remake, and it just overall it is refreshing. It feels like I just got transported back into 2006, and just with the class creation, I really forgot how deep Oblivion's character creators really was back in the day, and just the depth of Oblivion being a top tier RPG, one of the game of the years actually. And Bethesda is by far, the Elder Scrolls as a whole has become one of my favorite fantasy based games, and like I love the lore that the world sucks you in. But the character creator was one of the first things that I just want, as soon as you booted it up, I came across and I was like, dude, this looks incredible. And even in the live showcase for that, really showcased that there's more to this that we really thought. And that goes into the next point that I have to make is the combat transformation, right? The combat itself has changed. So one of the things that when I found out with the leaked information was that the combat itself, like when you're actually attacking your enemies, like your character is kind of doing like a kind of combos in a sense, like really switching it up. Like the melee feels good. They have added hit effects as well, so the enemies really feel your blows. Magic seems quite normal. Whenever like I shoot a flare, it goes right into the direction I'm pointing. And like the range side of things, like ranged bow and arrows, they even changed it to be more like Skyrim. And it seems like they utilize a lot of their best practices to truly remake this game. Like you even noted that they even said it in the overall live showcase that they took a lot of things from Skyrim, that what made Skyrim good, they took everything that made Oblivion good and kind of merged to have a baby, which is awfully hilarious because there is a team, that the Skyblivion team, who were doing just that. But you could see that Bethesda kind of stayed a little bit more grounded and not doing a full-blown merger of Skyblivion. Hence why when Skyblivion does finally come out as this modded version of Oblivion, we can really see how they did it. And Bethesda, give you props, you guys gifted the entire team of Skyblivion there. So I definitely recommend anybody to play both Bethesda's variation and as well as the Skyblivion team, because I feel like this would definitely do good for the overall Elder Scrolls community, and kind of just to hold us off until we get even more information regarding Elder Scrolls 6. And overall, there is also noticeable improvements. Like I said, the combat also is more fluid, feels a little bit more responsive, and it definitely fits the current day narrative. We're in 2025. We got a lot of open world RPGs that are very similar, so they really had to change up a couple of things when it comes to this. Like, you can't just remake this 20-year-old game and expect it to contend with, other current day open world RPGs. So I feel like Oblivion's kind of showing the industry like, hey, this is how you truly remake a game. And this overall contributes to the feeling that it feels like a brand new game. Like, I've playing through Oblivion originally, I'm like, this feels like I'm playing a whole new game. And one thing that really makes it feel that way is just the UI. It is a huge refresh. The menus, the inventory, the quest logs, it's just overall maneuvering through everything just feels more fresh and it feels more vibrant. And I can now finally tell people who, like, you don't need an emulator to go back and play the original. Like, you have a nice, good, well-built variation of the original Oblivion. But once you get through the UI, once you get through the overall combat, and just overall even like the character creator, it truly will feel like a new game at this point. But to further drive that point home, and like I said, I give props because UE5 had a lot of issues. There's a lot of bugs in UE5. UE5 has been around for a couple years now, and a lot more games are now moving towards it. But I feel like Bethesda really utilized UE5 to the best that they can. The beautiful look that we are seeing is basically, like I said earlier in the video, Oblivion's original engine, but with the enhancements of UE5. So this is not it's basically using the source code of Oblivion's original engine and just slapped UE5 as the skin. As they stated that was the brain, this is the looks. And I'm going to throw up a picture of here. Like, you can see the side-by-side comparisons when you're actually looking through the overall trailer. And when you're looking through the live reaction, you can see how 2006 looked and how 2025 is looking. And it's just crazy differences. The overall visual fidelity and just overall detail that the team put into, like, even Virtuoso's games, they are overall fans of Oblivion, and they really wanted to make sure that everything was seen from the time you step into the sewers to the time you step out of the sewers into the great open world of Cyrodiil. Overall, this is a great game. The environmental enhancements as well really are improved landscapes. The towns and dungeons all just looks 50 million times better, and the lighting and textures and environmental effects all over the place really showcase like this does not feel real. It feels like we're living in a different timeline, honestly, and I just quite enjoyed my time playing through Oblivion, and I'm still playing. Like, this is one of my favorite games through Elder Scrolls, other than but like Fallout series. Like, Oblivion, definitely I enjoy Oblivion a lot more than I enjoyed Skyrim. Especially when you're actually going through towns, you're talking to the different NPCs. They even changed the way, like, the facial expressions and the lip syncing to really help convey emotion and just getting a little bit more in depth to, like, really make it feel like sometimes if the game feels a bit uncanny sometimes, especially when you're coming from like the original OG, is just like, these are damn near two different games. And the fact that Bethesda is sticking with the fact that it's a remaster, it's definitely something like this is a full-blown remake at this point. And another big thing, of course, because this is Oblivion, of course, another thing that I noticed when I was playing was the overall Oblivion gates, how it's a overall spectacle to just take note. Like, when you're entering Oblivion gates, it's so crazy to think when you're looking at overall the entire world and how the sky turns red, and a game looks just great. Now, of course, it may not have that original feel or that nostalgic feeling, but just overall playing through this game any modern day time kind of gives you that feeling. It's kind of the same way I feel when I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake for the very first time. And I'm like, I played the original, and we're going from PS1 graphics, which is just pixels at this point and polygons, to now at this point we're in the 2020s with the new engines and PS5s and PS4s, and just seeing how this game looks. So when you're overall just like going through the Oblivion gates and just exploring through Oblivion gates, you really can see that they enhanced every single minute detail from this game from the ground up. Now, that is one thing to note for my first impressions of it. I will say this though, my biggest gripe that I do have with this game is the overall performance. That is honestly my only major issue that I have with this. This would be a 10 out of 10 masterpiece if the performance can be fixed. And of course, that is a common thing in the gaming industry. Most games are releasing day one with issues. Some of these games are now releasing as a complete product, and the main issue that I have been experiencing, and that what I've been hearing from my friends, my colleagues, even just listening to the rest of the world who are playing through Oblivion's remake, is the constant frame rate stutters. The game barely is running on most PCs, or your PC is not be able to run it at all. And there's many talks of whether it could be Unreal Engine 5. Like I said, Unreal Engine 5 has had a lot of issues in its past, and it still is going to have its issues. And I feel like having both of the brains could be essentially messing with people's PCs. Now, me personally, I'm rocking a 3060 Ti, 32 gigs DDR5 RAM. I have a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. And I run the game pretty fine, but it's just like when you start stepping out to the open world, I start having like lags, frame rate stutters. I'm not getting fully. I think I'm pushing around 60 frames per second, if that, maybe 50. And I think it's sometimes a dip. And it just could be a, overall take you out of the overall experience. And it's like, damn, yes, I am playing a 2025 game. And what's also funny, or it comes back full circle, is that funny enough, the game has bugs, right? That was one thing that Oblivion and even most Bethesda games all have bugs and issues. And at this point, we almost come to understand that that's just a Bethesda game. Bethesda just has that flair and just look overall. And I really hope that they have any future fixes for this and just fix the overall problem. Like I said, the game itself is having an overall positive impact on gameplay and graphic overhaul for the community. This is giving everybody like a nice refresher of Oblivion, and hopefully this showcases what Elder Scrolls is to expect. Hopefully it does not release in the state that it has, but I think this is Todd Howard's way of like, hey, here's Oblivion. What I need you to not to worry about Elder Scrolls 6 just yet. I feel like we're still years and years away from getting another version of Elder Scrolls. But I will say this, I am calling cap on it being a remaster. It does not feel like a remaster. It feels like a remake. And I just want to see what your guys' thoughts on the visual gameplay changes. Have you been playing through Oblivion Remake? I want to hear your thoughts. If you have, just let me know in the comment section below. Or if you want to talk a little bit more about it and nerd out a little bit about it, I have my Discord and a link below. But other than that, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel for more. And I want you guys to stay safe out there. And it's been your host, Chaos DTV, signing out. Peace.